Am I the asshole for not bringing step-siblings to a road trip and telling one she's a stranger? When I was 16 and my brother, Tyler, was 19, our parents got divorced. It was extremely messy. They fought each other constantly in and out of courtroom, and their favorite weapon against each other is me. Tyler was already away for college 3 hours drive away, so his dorm and then apartment was my favorite place to run away to whenever I can get away from it all. Before the divorce we weren't particularly close, but now we're about as close as brothers can be. He could have just turned a blind eye on me, but he didn't, and I owe him a hell of a lot for that. It's been 5 years since then. Both our parents have remarried and we now have several step and half siblings from both sides that we never met, all younger. I didn't have anything against them personally, but Tyler and I prefer to keep our distance away from the drama. Our parents, however, still push us, mostly me, to be all buddy-buddy with their new kids. Maybe they still want to use me as a one-upping tool against each other. Like they're on a race to get us to act as a big brothers to their kids. I don't know for sure. All I know is I'm not interested. Again, I didn't have anything against them personally before all this. I'm about to graduate college soon, and Tyler wanted to take me and a couple of friends along for a cross-country road trip to celebrate. I go to his old college while he got a job in the city after he graduated. We didn't think it was possible to do anything like that with how things had been for the past 2 years, so I'm super excited for that. We've been preparing things for a while just so we don't run into problems later, and I've been documenting things mainly through Instagram story. I didn't realize one of our step-siblings already followed me before I set my account on private a couple years back. Words got around, and now everyone started demanding we take our steps and halves with us, even changing the trip to make it more kid-friendly. It's all kinds of absurd and entitled, so I admit I lost my temper by the 5th time I was called about being a good brother. It was my mom's oldest stepdaughter, 18, and she has been the most insistent out of everyone. I yelled at her that the only one who gets to call me a brother is Tyler, and she and the rest of her dad's spawn are less than strangers to me. I went about as well as you'd imagine. Tyler and my friends thought it was both hilarious and long overdue. Everyone else thinks I'm an asshole. Am I? Edit. First of all, holy shit. Thank you for your judgment, opinion, stories and advices. It'll take a while until I can read them all, but I will eventually. Second, I'd like to give some additional info based on the most common questions, speculations I've seen so far. Mom and dad cheated on each other and remarried quickly within a year post-divorce. Saying I've never seen their new kids is an exaggeration, not for Tyler though. He actually never even met them. But beyond the forced bonding sessions, like twice each that I can remember, I always tried to sync up my stay with their turn to stay at their other parents, or, if I can't swing it, I'll go stay at Tyler's for the weekend to avoid them as much as possible. Children in question are from mom. 18 female, step. The annoying one, also the one who followed my IG. 13 male, step. Asked once, backed off after I said no. 5 female, half. Never whined directly, but mom said she's been crying over this. From dad. 17 male, step. Haven't called but have sent a couple DMs I don't open. 4 female and 4 female, twins. Half. Dad's pushing for me to take them both a couple hours after 18 female started being annoying. I have no idea how exactly the news spread from 18 female to the rest of them, but it annoyingly did. Hope this helped clear things up. Sorry if I gave you a wrong impression, but I wasn't in the best state of mind when I wrote the original post. Not the asshole. Step-sibling drama aside, I find it deeply weird that an 18-year-old doesn't get why you don't want a bunch of younger relatives tagging along and messing up your plans. If she was hoping this would be an opportunity to do stuff with cool older guys, she should talk to the parents about what they're willing to let her and her friends do for their own summer fun. Not the asshole. While the blow-up part is bad, where in the hell do they get to tell you how to plan your trip? Your brother is right. It sounds like it was long overdue, and my guess is there have been many other things they have tried to force, the new family dynamic, into. On a side note, if your brother found it hilarious and you are anything like me and my sister, that stranger comment is about to become a great running joke. Not the asshole. If the parents wanted to do something like a family trip, they should have planned it themselves. You have no obligation to include anyone. Not the asshole. If your parents only see you as a tool, you can also consider cutting contact to once a year or none at all. Family don't always share blood. Any friend in your life can be more family to you than your parents. Not the asshole. You can't be forced to take people on as trip you planned. They have some nerve. Not the asshole, though a bit harsh. They're not getting the message though, the first 4 times, so, the stepsister kinda deserved this. She's 18 and is old enough to take no for an answer and deal with it. Am I the asshole for not making my daughter apologize to my wife? So I, am 32, have my daughter, F15, from a previous relationship in high school. My wife, F30, and I have 2 sons, 5, 3, together. We're planning a family vacation in June to go to Florida including my daughter. A couple days ago when my daughter was staying over we were discussing what we were planning on doing while on vacation and my wife wanted to go to SeaWorld. My daughter said you guys can go, I'm not going to SeaWorld though I'll stay at the hotel. My wife said why, so my daughter explained she isn't a fan of seeing animals contained in a tiny space. But if you guys want to, that's on you. My daughter has always loved animals, especially marine life. So I wasn't surprised. I know she's watched documentaries on SeaWorld. But after that my wife was clearly mad and my daughter made up her mind and wasn't participating in SeaWorld. Later my wife got mad and said I need to make her go since we're the adults and we're taking her on this trip. And that my daughter needs to apologize to her. I told her I'm not making my daughter go and she doesn't have to apologize if she doesn't want to. She said we can't leave a 15-year-old at a hotel by herself. So I said I'll stay with her, you can take the boys. I'm not a big fan of SeaWorld anyway. She said she can't believe me, and I'm raising someone entitled and I'm being and that's not right. I'm willing to stay with my daughter than be with my real family. I just told her my daughter has been in my life longer than her and our sons and we've barely talked since then, but she still thinks I'm the asshole in this situation. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole, but your wife sure is. Your daughter is uncomfortable with a planned outing. 15, it's old enough to stay in a hotel room alone. If you think she's responsible enough, do check-ins. It's weird to think she should apologize for that. Implying that your daughter isn't your real family is beyond appalling, though. You aren't raising an entitled daughter. You're raising a sensitive girl who is willing to miss a day of fun because she feels strongly about animal care. It has nothing to do with entitlement. She's not looking for special treatment. She's offering to miss the day of fun. There was no request to make everyone do something different than she wanted. She didn't ask to go somewhere in lieu of SeaWorld, she just asked to miss the outing. Your daughter doesn't have anything to apologize for. Your wife needs to apologize for forcing everyone to do what she wants. Not the asshole. I have no idea why your wife would be upset that your daughter wants to skip an event that is basically of no real importance. It's not a wedding, it's not a funeral, it's not a doctor's appointment, it's not school-related. It's fucking SeaWorld. And from the sounds of it, your daughter didn't make a scene, didn't throw a tantrum, didn't insult her for wanting to go to that shit place. She handled it in a civilized and reasonable fashion. You're clearly not the asshole. Neither is your daughter. Your wife Otto. WTF. No idea how in the world this makes your daughter entitled, like I'm not sure your wife knows what that word means, to be honest. Not the asshole. Your daughter is old enough to stay in a room by herself and old enough to have her own opinions. Sounds like your wife is trying to be unnecessarily controlling on certain issues. If she's clearly going to be upset by going to this, then I don't know why your wife is insisting. Unless she's PO'd about having her authority questioned. Edit. Just reread your last paragraph and what your wife said goes from being petty to straight up being an asshole. You may want to rethink this relationship because her true feelings on certain things are coming out. Not the asshole. The real family comment is very telling. And I'm willing to bet it isn't the first time she's made comments like that. Not the asshole. Shame on you for marrying someone that doesn't consider your daughter part of your real family. You and your asshole of a wife should watch the documentary Black Fish to see how deplorable SeaWorld really is. Am I the asshole for asking why a man wanted the seat next to me, instead of other empty seats? I, 20 SF, am in the train to head to the airport for work. It's early morning, I am juggling a suitcase, laptop bag, handbag, breakfast and coffee, and find a window seat on the train in the middle of a cabin, put all my stuff and coat on the seat, floor next to me, and start having breakfast. Train is not empty, but certainly not busy. All the rows have one person sitting in it, generally on the window seat, while 80% of the aisle seats are free. About a minute before departure a man comes in, walks through the cabin and stops in front of me asking to sit down. I look confused but start moving things to free up space, sitting on top of my coat, knees almost in my ears to be able to squeeze my suitcase under my feet, put away the breakfast I won't be able to have, and have my 2 bags on my lap. train has departed already, and the man is still standing there, instead of sitting down in the empty seat behind him. When he finally sits down next to me, I ask him, "Why this seat?" The rest was empty and would have been easier and faster for both of us. He then goes on a rant that people should not be occupying seats for stuff instead of people and gets enraged when I say I agree if the train is busy, but in this case it's nearly empty. It was an awkward rest of the trip, where I was very tempted to spill my coffee on him, but now I wonder if I was an asshole for my reaction. Am I? TLDR. Asked for explanation from a man who wanted to sit in the seat next to me, where I have a suitcase, several bags and breakfast, instead of other empty seats. Not the asshole. If there's plenty of open seats, it's fine to use the extra seats for your stuff. Chances are he either just wanted to start shit or to hit on you or something. Not the asshole. He probably did it on purpose just to be that guy who makes a show about his stupid rants. Next time just say, "I'm saving this seat for my friend," even if the airport is the next stop. Not the asshole. He was intentional in being a jerk to teach you a lesson he thinks you need to learn. But you didn't need the lesson since there were plenty of empty seats elsewhere. Not the asshole. Some people are bored and bitter and love to create issues where there are none. Not the asshole. He probably wanted to hit on you or wanted to cause, either way, he was definitely unnecessary. I would have said, yes, then grabbed all my stuff and go sit somewhere else to have my space back. Tears of joy. Not the asshole. Hate the way so many guys on public transport will take a seat next to a young woman when there's tons of open seats. Am I the asshole for telling girlfriend I don't care about her ADHD? Girlfriend, 28F, and I, 24F, have moved in together February. She has ADHD that she is medicated and goes to therapy for. I've known this since before we started dating and did my best to educate myself on how to help her cope with the challenges. However, ever since we moved in together, the challenges have gotten worse. She never cleans or does any of the chores. She often leaves containers to grow mold in the fridge until I've started checking every single one daily to see if anything is spoiled. If she puts a dirty dish in the sink, it will stay there forever until I clean it. I bought a dishwasher, but she won't load it due to her executive dysfunction. She won't take out the trash either or do her laundry. It's tiring, but I figured she must be suffering from work stress, so stepped up to help out. But the incident that has made me lose is the following. More than 5 times now, she has put something on the stove and walked away to be on her phone, until whatever she was cooking set off the fire alarm. My stove has a timer on it that you set for however long you want, and it will shut the stove off after the set time has passed. I've shown her how to use it over and over again, so that if she walks away the stove will simply turn itself off. She never has. I have also brought a ringing timer, but she rarely uses it. Finally, I told her to text me when she wanted to cook if she was worried she'd get lost on her phone, so that I can text her a reminder or call her. Well, yesterday I came back home to the fireman in front of our building because she had put a frying pan with oil in it on the stove and forgot about it while she scrolled TikTok until it caught on fire and burned down half of our kitchen. I was very concerned for her and made sure she was uninjured, but I got mad after she didn't even apologize. All she said was, "You shouldn't be mad. This stuff happens and you know it's my ADHD and I can't help it." This is when I told her that I don't care about her ADHD, that I cared about us being pretty much homeless now, and that I had just lost the security deposit for the apartment, which was 3x the monthly rent money, because she refused to use any of the solutions I offered and all the accommodations I've tried to make. She got very upset and left, and I couldn't stop her because the landlord had just arrived at the scene and was pissed. It's been a day now and I'm pretty sure she has blocked me, as well as made multiple posts citing me being an uncaring CNT towards the mentally ill. I've had a couple mutual friends and her sister reach out calling me insensitive and saying that I revealed my true colors and dehumanized her, and that I'm putting the money above caring for my GF. Even the friend that I am crashing with told me that I shouldn't have snapped at her by saying I don't care about her ADHD. I have given her lifelong trust issues when it comes to future partners. So Reddit, am I the deluded asshole here? Update. Thank you all for the comments, especially the lengthy ones. This has been a very informational thread about how different people deal with ADHD, and the different safeguarding and mitigation techniques and methods used in daily life to deal with the challenges that come with this neurodivergency. I have chosen to not continue this relationship as my ex-girlfriend's Facebook posts have now devolved into lesbophobia against me for some reason, which further confirms what a lot of you have expressed, That a lot of issues weren't from her ADHD, but simply her not being a very nice and responsible person. I suspect she may have come across this post and it set her off. As a final note, I would like to say that reading about the many accomplishments many of you have made happen while fighting this very challenging disability are to be celebrated. And to those who are still struggling, I hope you find the correct coping methods that suit you and make your life a bit more fair. Please consult the comments. Many people have mentioned many things that personally work for them. With that, I wish you all a good evening and thank you. ADHD and autistic here. Not the asshole. The fact that she didn't even apologize for burning down the apartment is telling. I would be sobbing because I knew that my brain did the thing, so I would be remorseful to the point of begging for forgiveness. She is using her mental illness as a crutch to be a shit person. Edit. Thanks for my first gold. Edit 2. To those who keep calling me out and being 100% unhelpful to the post itself, when I was diagnosed, it was considered a mental illness, so my verbiage is no longer considered correct, not sorry. It's just how I was taught, and I'd rather blame my brain for just being mental, rather than disabled. I'm crazy, not crippled. This is how I personally feel, and others are allowed to feel differently. It's how I cope with who I am. Lol. Not the asshole. All she said was, you shouldn't be mad. This stuff happens and you know it's my ADHD and I can't help it. You're not her nanny. She needs to do whatever it is she needs to do to live a functional adult life. You don't need to carry her while she sorts that out, and all the people being nasty to you about it are welcome to let her burn down their kitchens. It should be a priority with her therapist to develop whatever adult living skills she needs, setting phone reminders, checklists, practicing routines, whatever. It isn't the partner's job to pick up all the work as well as guess what she'll do to threaten his physical safety. You shouldn't be mad. This stuff happens and you know it's my ADHD and I can't help it. Lol, if that's actually true, then she shouldn't be cooking at all. It'd be like if a blind guy decided to drive and said, don't be mad, I can't help it, to whoever he crashes into. Not the asshole. You did care about her ADHD. You bought a stove with a timer. You offered to call. You offered solutions. She's the one who rejected that and didn't care. Not about taking care of her ADHD. And definitely not about taking care of you. Poor choice of words by you. Maybe, but are you in the wrong? Definitely not. Not the asshole. As someone with ADHD. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. When any disorder or illness threatens the safety of the individual or others, it's time to get new help, more help, a level up of support. If your girlfriend refuses, you can't do much else except make the hard choices that are best for you. It's sad she won't take any responsibility, but it's not on you to fight the fight for her. We can only help those who opt to swim towards us. Good luck, dude.